Hello, hello, hello. Happy Easter. Happy Easter, fam and friends. Uh does anybody in chat? Oh, it is 420. You're right. It is. Yeah, I forgot because I don't smoke weed and I never did. I never did. Even I was an alcohol bro. Ham. I know my little Easter babies. Yarman. Oh. Uh-huh. Yeah, so how's everyone doing? Are we celebrate does anybody here celebrate Easter? Yarman. Okay, somebody told me that they were gonna DM me about good. Thank you. I know they are adorable, aren't they? Somebody told me that they were gonna DM me about like good um either syrups or powders that I can make lattes with. And I don't think I ever got that DM. I don't think I ever got the DM. Happy Easter. Woke up to the neolibs getting mad at me calling out bastard. Well, you're in good company, Brandon. I feel you. They really do love doing that. They really do. They really, really love doing that. It's like their favorite thing to do. And it's always in service of power. You know, they're always bastardizing and wanting to uphold like identity politics in service of power. It's never like to like defend actual like marginalized groups. It's always to be like, let's utilize identity politics to somehow uphold the Democratic Party. It's always that. It's amazing. Yarman. Yeah, you know what I woke up to? Oh, I saw this. Okay. I saw this about the woman who was killed doing the documentary. That was horrific. I think that, and I believe that they targeted her. I believe that they targeted her because I think that they do have this kind of sick, um, like, let's see how much we can get away with vibe, you know? Like, I think that they have like a kind of sick fuck, like, why don't we kill journalists and see how much we can get away with it? Why don't we kill um medics and see how much we can get away with it? Why don't we target children, you know, and writers and poets and academics and see how much we can get away with it, and hospitals? You know, it's like it's almost like this like sick game of like seeing how much they can get away with. You know what I woke up to? Someone who has been in chat before. I don't know if any of you guys watching remember this. Quote unquote calling me out and like tagging me and giving me shit and telling people to give me shit because I wanted to watch that Sam Cedar Jubilee thing like a month ago. I don't know if any of you guys were in chat when this happened. Happened like a month ago where I wanted to watch the Jubilee Sam Cedar video where he's debating right-wingers on DEI. And there was a person in chat who had kind of a meltdown over it, started blowing up chat, and was freaking out, talking about how, like, they can't believe it. Why would I want to play Sam Cedar? Sam Cedar's terrible. He's this, he's that. They hung up on him when he tried to, like, call into their show, like, all this shit. It was so awkward. Like, they were arguing with people in chat about it. It was so awkward to the point where I was like, never mind. Like, never mind. Like, we won't watch it. We will watch it another day. Never mind. Like, I'm not going to get into it. This person's clearly having a very strong reaction. So anyway, like, we moved on, and out of nowhere today, I wake up and this person is tagging me in tweets being like, I need people to start calling out Blakely because she misgendering me when, if they've been in my chat before, they know I'm non-binary, they know my pronouns are they, them. So that's not fucking cute. And then they're like, is trying to get people to watch Sam Cedar. Like, I'm like, it was just a little deranged, and it made me think this person has a serious unhealthy obsession with Sam Cedar and the Majority Report. Like, I remember specifically saying to them, like, if you don't like the Majority Report or you don't like Sam Cedar, that's fine. Like, let it go. Move on. Like, you don't like them. Okay, you don't like them. You don't have to like them. You don't have to like Sam Cedar. You don't have to watch the Majority Report. A lot of people don't think that Sam Cedar and the Majority Report are left enough. That's fine. Oh shit, what was the person's name? It was like Never Fall or something like that. The handle was like Never Fall, and it was like a skeleton profile picture or something like that. But anyway, it's just crazy to me how much this person is clearly obsessed with Sam Cedar and the Majority Report, because what it really came down to, and it was clear to me in their tweet where they're going after me and they're telling other people to go after me, they're so mad that I wanted to watch a Sam Cedar video, or that I said that I personally like Sam Cedar and the Majority Report, saying to them, you don't have to like them. I personally like them. And now, a month later, they're telling people to call me out for liking the Majority Report or liking Sam Cedar. Like, they're so upset over it that they want other people to tag me and call me out, and they're in my comments about it a month after this happened. Like, I haven't even talked about Sam Cedar since then. It's fucking weird. It's weird. It's like, go outside and touch grass. I don't know what experience you had with the Majority Report and Sam Cedar that made you like this, but it's not healthy. It's okay that you don't like them. It's okay that you don't like them. And it's okay if you don't like me because I like them. You don't like me because I like them. That's fine too. But the fact that you're so obsessed about it that you're still talking about it is fucking weird. It's weird. As soon as you brush your mom's hair. How about that? It is good. Although I was telling people I want them to somebody told me that they were going to DM me. Somebody told me that they were going to DM me options and like ideas on where to get like a good syrup or a good powder so I can make them myself. This is a lavender latte that I got from a local coffee shop in Brooklyn called Black Star. It's pretty good, but like I said, I really want to make my own. But I am hesitant about getting more syrups and powders because so far the syrups and powders that I've tried are really gross. Like, I got like a syrup kit from Walmart, like, I don't know, 6 months ago or something now. And it had like really good flavors and it was super cute. It had like candy cane and caramel and white chocolate. It was so gross. It tasted chemically, you know? Like, it tasted like chemicals. Like, it just like tasted like chemicals. It didn't taste like the syrup. It didn't taste like the flavor that you're going for. It tasted like chemicals, which was fucking gross. So I'm hesitant about buying another powder or another syrup. Where'd you get it? Was it good? I need to plug my computer in. No, I didn't want Kelba. Your profile picture is funny. It wasn't it wasn't sugar-free, I don't think, but it was gross. It was gross. It was it just, I don't know what it was, but it I don't think it was sugar-free, but it did taste like chemicals, like how a lot of sugar-free shit will taste chemically. I don't know how to describe it. I want to get more fresh hazelnut beans. Yeah, but I want to make like a latte though. I want to make a latte with like a syrup. I just don't know which one to get that'll taste authentic and not yikes. I don't want it to taste sugar-free. I don't want it to taste like chemically, like I don't know if it's better to get a powder or if it's better to get a sugar. But let me know if you guys have Rex. I'm looking. I think they probably got popular by shit posting. They did a lot of like gossip talk, which people love, but also they've been around for a while, you know? Some people have big followings just as a result of when they got in the game, you know? You see this a lot on TikTok, where like there are people that are on TikTok that have huge, huge followings that don't really have great engagement. And it's because they got on the platform at a time where there wasn't as many people, or they got in early. So they have massive followings because of that. I feel like in some way that's kind of what Ethan Decline benefits from, is that like their podcast has been on YouTube for years, like I think like a decade. So some people just benefit from just like how long they've been on. Exactly, exactly. It's more difficult for people who are newer, who haven't been around as long. And of course, YouTube censors people on the left. So if you're doing like a lot of like gossip content, like shit like that, like you're gonna get a big audience. And if you're doing right wing content, there's endless money for that, so you're gonna get a big audience. It's like it's a lot more difficult to like build an audience if you're on the left, despite what the like crazy right wingers say, because the right way, every accusation is a confession. It's like upside down world. They'll claim that like everything like leftists control everything and everything benefits the left, when like really it's the fucking opposite. Like it's so much harder for people on the left to get anywhere. uh I know, seriously, fuck apart tube. Still looking for that lawyer, folks. Hit me up. You're a lawyer. Let's see, we have approximately 400 people watching the live right now. Let's get some more of those people on Twitch, folks. Not enough on Twitch. And of what I'm seeing, there has to be someone that knows a lawyer. Still looking for a lawyer, folks. I need a lawyer to help me sue YouTube. Thank you. Happy Easter to you too. What's your opinion on iShow Speak going to China? I think it's awesome. I'm open for business as well. Do you want to take me to China? Somebody, China, sponsor me. I'll go. I want to go. I want to go. Well, yeah, it's astroturfed. It is astroturfed. It is like a fake it till you make it kind of thing. Even Milo Yiannopoulos, when he was on Tim Pool recently, admitted that that's what they do. They did it with all of their right-wing content creators, including Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, all of them. They put a ton of fucking money to astroturf their popularity in the beginning. And then over time, by putting a lot of money and a lot of promotion in it, people start watching it because they think it's what they should be watching. So it's all astroturf to begin with. And then eventually, people are sheep-like in a lot of ways, and they'll just do what, they see other people doing. And if a lot of other people are now watching this right-wing content, even if it was astroturfed in the beginning, they think, oh, I should be watching that. I think we just have to go wherever we can because they are all compromised. I don't know if there is a best platform for the left. It was TikTok, but TikTok, they also are always trying to censor people on TikTok too and capture it, and ADL trying to get involved and fucking right-wingers trying to buy it. Like, it was TikTok. I would love to go to China. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I I was like getting so pissed off, like watching all these like psycho right-wingers like post about Easter when like Christians get attacked in Jerusalem. Like, they showed this video. I made a video about it earlier already, about Christians in occupied East Jerusalem trying to go to church and getting attacked by the IOF. I wish. I'm still trying to get an interview with what is his name? The guy running for mayor in New York. What's that guy's name? The guy running on the socialist, like Democratic Socialist platform. What, I'm forgetting his name right now, but I wanted to interview him. He's ignoring my messages. Zoran, thank you. Mamdani. Jeez. Yeah, Zoran Mamdani. I've been trying to contact him. I contacted him on Instagram and on Twitter. He is ignoring me. Okay. In fact, I'm going to tweet at him right now. See, this is what I'm talking about. Sorry, now I got to get in here and show you guys this. This is the kind of shit that makes me sick. Makes me absolutely sick. This white fucking supremacist, fake Christian sitting there with his kids talking about blessed Easter from the family as he advocates for genocide in Gaza, like it is anywhere else. A lot of people dress up. There are a lot of people who go to church. There are like Catholics and shit here. And a lot of people just out and, getting coffee and going to lunch and Easter egg rolls at the park, But anyway, about what I was going to say about Andrew Cuomo is I really need, if anybody lives in New York City, to not rank him at all. Like, he's such garbage. He's such garbage. There's a bunch of people running that you can put first through fifth, with leaving him off and leaving off, what is his fucking name? What is his name? Eric Adams, our current mayor. Eric Adams. Which the libs are like, it's funny the libs aren't coming to his defense, They're not coming to his defense. You criticize Cory Booker and they cry and they talk about how you can't criticize Cory Booker and it's anti-Black to criticize Cory Booker. But they're not coming to defend Eric Adams when people criticize Eric Adams. Interesting. I just want people to not rank Andrew Cuomo or Eric Adams at all. I think I hate Andrew Cuomo even more than Eric Adams, if that's possible. I think that he's worse. I think that Andrew Cuomo actually is worse than than Eric Adams.
This extreme wing.
This extreme wing. This is what I'm saying. This is how embarrassing Andrew Cuomo is. That he's calling the social democrats like AOC and Bernie Sanders, who have significantly moved to the right, by the way. AOC and Bernie Sanders, the only reason why the media is not trashing them right now is for two reasons. Okay. Because the media used to trash them all the time. The media used to trash them all the time. The only reason, how are these balloons still happening? I never figure that out. Why are there balloons in the background? Anyway, the only reason why the media is not trashing AOC and Bernie Sanders for the most part is for two reasons. Number one, they know that they're not a threat anymore. When they felt like Bernie Sanders or AOC was a threat, they would trash them all the time. They don't feel like they're a threat anymore. Second of all, they've both moved to the right. Why? Because the Overton window has moved to the right and the Democratic Party has moved to the right. And AOC and Bernie Sanders have been absorbed into the Democratic Party and thus moved to the right. You never hear them talking about Medicare for all anymore. It's not my birthday, though. I don't know where those balloons came from. It's not my birthday. So my point is, Bernie and AOC are not even that left. They're like kind of like a little bit more liberal social democrats. But Andrew Cuomo is such an embarrassing right-winger that he thinks that AOC is the extreme left. We don't have an extreme left in this country. We don't even have a real left wing in this country. Like, America is so fucking right wing. Like, we don't have, the Overton window is so far to the right. We don't have a real left wing in this country, a real left wing movement in this country. AOC and Bernie are the most left we have, and they're not even that left. They're basically just a little bit more progressive Democrats when so many of the Democrats are like fucking right wing. Delusional.
Of the Democratic Party.
Like, imagine thinking that AOC is extreme.
Running the Democratic Party because it doesn't work.
So AOC was opposed to it. Is AOC part of the extreme wing?
Yes. Yes.
Wow, that was a really good question and a very direct answer.
That was direct, right? Yes.
Yeah, yes. One word, yes.
Yes. Yes. Sometimes the answer is yes. You can't have this.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Railing, this is Brad Lander, who's also running for mayor, which you can rank him. I wouldn't rank him first, but I think you can rank him. Certainly rank him over fucking Andrew Cuomo and fucking Eric Adams. But what is his name? But like, it's just so funny to me that he's calling them extreme. The extreme left, like, bro. Brad Lander said, railing against AOC, one of the most effective leaders in the Democratic Party, and refusing to criticize Trump is exactly what you can expect from Andrew Cuomo, who's being bankrolled by MAGA and Republican billionaires, that of which he is. He is getting bankrolled by MAGA and Republican billionaires because that's what he is. That's what he is. He is a fucking Republican. Andrew Cuomo is a Republican. He governed like a Republican. He sold out to the Republicans. He helped create the IDC, which was basically just, let's help empower Republicans in Albany. Like, he is a Republican. And AOC is an effective leader in the Democratic Party. She definitely helped shepherd people into the Democratic Party. So why is he trashing her? Because he's a fucking Republican. Like, it's so embarrassing. Like, I don't even want people to rank him. All he does is first of all, also he's so corrupt. Like, all the most corrupt Democrats are endorsing him in Congress so far. Basically, the only people who have endorsed him so far in Congress have been incredibly corrupt Democrats. Mostly New York ones, because New York is incredibly corrupt. Our politics are incredibly corrupt, which is unfortunate. But you know, it's one of those old city machine politics. One party state has had, like, you know, kind of the same rule and the same corrupt politics and backroom smoke-filled rooms, not letting new people into the process for a very, very, very long time. Yarman! Wiggy! So, yeah, he's a right-winger. He's corrupt as fuck, and anybody endorsing him is embarrassing. You're embarrassing for endorsing him. Not only is he corrupt, but let's not forget that he's a sex pest who had to resign for that, and also, like, killed grandmas. Schwacky! Oh, not literally killed grandmas. Don't sue me, Andrew Cuomo. Don't sue me. Not literally. What he did was he implemented a policy during COVID that forced patients that they knew were COVID positive back into nursing homes, which killed a bunch of people. What is it, Quacky? Wakey? What is it? Eggs and wakey? Eggs and bakey shaggy? Wag it. Yarman and Wiggy. All right, what is this clown saying? Like, I just need them to not, I just need people to not rank him at all.
A better city. A better city for all of us.
A better city for all of us. All you do is shill for the Israeli lobby. Like, all this clown does so far is talk about how they need to fight anti-Semitism. That's all he does. He hasn't talked about housing. He hasn't talked about how he's going to make housing affordable for New Yorkers, how they're going to lift people out of poverty, wages, whatever. Like, no, he's not going to do any of that. His whole shtick is like, hey, how can I enrich my Republican donors? How can I enrich the fucking lobbies for the real estate firms that give me all this money? And how can I fight anti-Semitism, i.e. shill for the Israeli lobby? I'm not saying cancel AOC. That's all I'm saying. But what I am saying is, I'm not going to, like, pretend that she's anything other than what she is or the purpose she serves. And the purpose she serves is to sheep herd people into supporting the Democratic Party by basically using her progressive clout and progressive language to get people to just get into the party and do the same old typical party bullshit in a party that hates her anyway. The Democratic Party hates AOC. They hate Bernie Sanders. They're never going to accept them. So it's a huge waste of time anyway that she does all this, you know, shilling for them when they despise her. I mean, people can do what they want, but I'm not voting for Democrats anymore. Like, I'm tired of their okie doke. I'm tired of their bullshit. I'm tired of them pretending like they're going to do stuff and then just getting you to vote for the Democratic Party so then they can move to the right some more, do genocide apologia, do Lucy in the football, pretend that they're going to fight for you, then do Lucy in the football. Like, I'm done with these clowns. I'm done with them after this last election. I'm not voting for them anymore, not at the federal level. I'll probably still vote for them at the local level, but I'm not voting for them at the federal level. We have to have alternatives. No, I hear you. I'm not telling you what to do. People can do what they think is best. For me personally, I'm not voting for them anymore because I don't think they are an alternative. I don't believe that they are an alternative. I actually think they're actively harming people. If they really actually cared about doing something different, they'd leave the party and start their own or run as independents. Bernie technically is an independent. If they really cared about this, they would break off from the party like James Carville suggested, which was actually a good suggestion. They'd break off from the party and they'd start their own party. Or they'd run as independents, because I understand that creating new party infrastructure can be challenging. But they'd break off from the party that once again hates their fucking guts. Hates their guts. We went through all the clips the other day of James Carville and other, corporate Democrats melting down at David Hogg just suggesting that they have better Democrats. David Hogg actually saying just like, hey, we should have some reforms. The Democrats got their fucking asses kicked in this last election. Maybe we should have some reforms. Maybe we should have better Democrats. And he's met with, fuck you, go fuck yourself. Like, that's what he's met with. They can't stand them. They hate the progressives. They hate the left. They hate the progressives. They hate anybody that is like left of Amy Klobuchar. So I actually think that if they were serious about anything and also had some fucking self-respect and some dignity, they would just break off from the party and start their own. A party that hates them anyway. And that's the other thing. Why should I vote for a party that hates me? The Democratic Party hates me, hates what I believe, hates my values. Why would I vote for them? Threw my identity under the bus, threw trans people under the bus, hates poor people, hates people who aren't college educated. Why would I vote for them? I'm not voting for them anymore. If, like I said, if they really care about actually like having some change, people like AOC and stuff, they should break off and form their own party and or run as independents. But I'm tired of voting for lesser of two evils. I'm tired of voting for a party that bullies people into accepting crumbs, that yells at people and berates people into supporting their shit candidates, and tells you to want nothing, to ask for nothing, to expect nothing. And if you do have the nerve to ask for something, expect something, fight for something, they bully you, they call you names, and they tell you to get in line. They want me, who they hate, to vote for them. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? I already did that in 2020. And after watching the way they handled the genocide, I'm done doing that. I'm not voting for them anymore. So like I said, I'm not judging people for the way that they want to vote. If you think that continuing to vote for Democrats is going to be the right move, then do that. But I'm not at the federal level. I'm still voting for Democrats and Democratic Socialists at the local level. Usually, like, I voted for my local city council members and my local state senator, and shit like that. But I'm not voting for them at the federal level anymore. They can go fuck themselves. That's just where I'm at. They're not just arrogant and condescending, that which they are, but don't you guys notice that, like, they literally will yell at you if you try to do anything within the party? Like, look at the way that they're treating David Hogg. I think it's very instructive. They literally hate you. I look at the way that they treat David Hogg, and I'm to the left of David Hogg, but obviously I voted for Democrats in the past. And I see the way that they're treating him, and I think, and I would vote for you bitches. Why? And I would vote for you bitches. Why? This is how you're treating somebody that's literally just trying to do some reforms. This is how you're treating people who are just trying to do some reflection. Because I remind Democrats once again that you bitches lost. You bitches lost. It's time for self-reflection. Okay? It's time for some self-fucking reflection. It's time for some fucking, hey, where did we go wrong? How can we reform? It's time for some fucking reform. But then David Hogg says, why don't we do some reform? And they attack him. So I look at that. It's not just that they're condescending and arrogant. They literally hate their own voters. They hate their own vote. That's what I'm trying to impress upon you, that actually like helped solidify my decision to like fully like be like, I'm leaving this party. Not that I was ever really a part of it, but like I was voting for them and saying I'm not going to vote for them anymore, because it's like not only are they condescending, not only are they arrogant, not only are they liars, not only are they people that manipulate you and bully you into always accepting crumbs, they literally hate their own voters. And like I said, watching what's happened to David Hogg to me this week has been very instructive. There is no self-reflection. There's no interest in reform. And the one guy that's actually like, hey, maybe we should do some self-reflection reform, they're fucking attacking him. This guy wrote like, shut up, little boy. I forget his name. I think I retweeted it. Here it is. Tim Miller. Shut up, young man. Seriously? So he went on just to talk about some reforms. We went over this video in the last stream on Thursday. And Tim Miller, who was a Republican, who now has more say in the Democratic Party than David Hogg does, this former Republican who was a spokesperson for Jeb Bush. That's how far right the Democrats have moved. The Democrats have moved so fucking far to the right that Tim Miller, who is a ex-right-winger who used to work for Jeb Bush, has more of a say in the Democratic Party than David Hogg does. He's telling him to shut up. That's what's coming out of the guy trying to do some reforms. The one being like, hey, maybe we should self-reflect and do some reforms, and they're telling him to shut up. That's what the party thinks of you. I saw this. I was like, oh, how sad. Yeah, and what makes it worse is that they're not even trying. Like I said, there's no attempt at reform. There's no like, hey, let's do some self-reflection. Where did we go wrong? How can we appeal to more people? How can we like, challenge like what it is that people don't like about the party? This guy comes out and tries to do a little bit of that, and they fucking attack him. And there's always retconning too about what happened, right? So like, I remember when it was being discussed that maybe Joe Biden stepped down, those of us who said, hey, he should step down and we should have a primary were attacked. Leave Joe Biden alone. You're going to help Trump. You're helping Trump. Leave Joe Biden alone. Then when Joe Biden did finally drop out because it was inevitable that he wasn't there and he had to, then it was, oh, we can't have a primary. We can't have a primary. We can't have a primary because it's Kamala Harris's turn. We don't have time. You're disrespecting Black women if you want a primary, blah, 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 blah. Then she loses. And now those same people are trying to retcon the whole thing and go, oh, no. Yeah, we all wanted a primary. We agree there should have been a primary. No, you fucking didn't, you fucking liars. Gaslighters. Oh, we all agree that there should have been a primary. No, we all didn't agree. Because those of us who were saying that maybe we should have a primary, you guys lost your shit. No, I'm done with them. I'm done with them. I think that like I said, I think if they were serious at all, they would create a worker party. Some kind of different party. Oh yeah, and all the people that were like, Kamala Harris ran a flawless campaign. Yeah, if she were running as a Republican, but she was running as a Democrat. Don't you think that legislative couple is too rigged even for the best candidates? I mean, yeah, I think that it is largely too rigged at this point. I know. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. It was so bad. No, I honestly think that it is a little bit too rigged for anybody to win, because I actually do think, look, to me, the what happened in 2020 to Bernie Sanders and 2016 is a perfect example of that rigging and how they'll never let it happen. Bernie Sanders was never was not ever that far left, despite the hysterics of the media and the Democratic Party and the establishment. He really wasn't that far left. He was basically like, first of all, he was a Zionist. He always was. I just didn't know that because I was ignorant of a lot. Like a lot of Americans, I was pretty ignorant of what happened outside of our borders, honestly, which actually is really, really bad. And now that I know, it's like, I want to learn more about the world and American imperialism and how it affects the world, because it's like, actually, as an American, I feel like we should care about what happens in the world, considering how much American imperialism has fucked the entire world and like how much we affect the entire world. But unfortunately, I am more representative of most Americans that didn't pay attention to shit outside of our borders. So I didn't really know anything about like Bernie's support for the Israeli regime or Zionism that I do now. But like, even still, like, Bernie was never like anti-imperialist. He was never like, he was just a social democrat, a capitalist. Like, he says he's not a capitalist, but basically a capitalist that wanted a little bit of reforms. Like, that's basically what he was. And that's how they acted. Remember how hysterical they were? You had what was his name? Chris Matthews crying on MSNBC, talking about some Bernie Sanders was going to take them in Central Park and execute them, and we were going to turn into a communist country. Like, insane boomer shit. First of all, if I hear anybody talk about communism in this country, opinion immediately dismissed. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I saw the other day, and I know Lauren Boebert is an extra special kind of stupid. I know she's really dumb, but she actually called Wall Street communist, which I was like, it should be illegal to be that dumb. It should actually be illegal to be that stupid. I mean, but to me, like, anybody who says anything about communism, opinion immediately dismissed. Communism is literally not a thing, never been a thing, never would be a thing. Like, this country is so hysterical when it comes to communism. We never left the Cold War. It's not even close to ever being a thing. So when I hear anyone be like, "Oh, communism is on its way," I'm like, okay, you're clearly a very fucking unserious person. So the fact that Chris Matthews was crying on TV saying that if Bernie Sanders won, communism was going to be ushered in, deeply unserious, deep boomer brain. If Bernie Sanders would have won, the best that would have happened is like the social safety net would have been mildly expanded. Honestly, that's likely what would have happened. Like, what likely would have happened is that we would have had a more slightly expanded social safety net, which would have been good, but that's pretty much it. No, but also, like, it's also, like, deranged. Like, people, like, I don't know, the Cold War never ended. It never ended. Well, that's what I'm saying. When you say, like, we would have sold out, look at him now. I would say that even if he had gone in with the best of intentions, he's still a Zionist, so that wouldn't have changed a lot of his response to the Israeli regime. He most likely would have been stymied at every turn because there would have been so many hysterical right-wingers and Democrats and people accusing him of being a communist that he likely wouldn't have been able to get much done because he would have been fighting off those accusations constantly. But it was never going to happen because, as we saw in 2020, the Democrats are a lot closer to the Republicans than people like to admit. And the Democrats would much rather lose to a Republican than allow a progressive to win. Because Bernie Sanders is not actually a socialist. He's a progressive Democrat, basically. And if he had won, like, the best case scenario would have been there would have been some slight reforms and there would have been, like, a more expanded social safety net, maybe. But the Democrats, obviously, as everybody witnessed in 2020 and 2016, sabotaged him winning because, once again, they would rather have Trump than Bernie. People always want to, like, be in denial about that, but the reality of the situation is that a lot of Democrats rather have Trump in office than Bernie because that's how much they hate the left. They are more comfortable with somebody like Trump, who is a capitalist and an imperialist and a corporatist, and is going to give tax cuts to the rich and everything else. They're more comfortable with that than they are with Bernie. Because, again, reminder to everybody, a lot of people in Congress are rich. A lot of people in Congress are rich. There are way too many millionaires in Congress considering how poor the country is. When you look at how much the people in the country don't have, you really got to question, why do we have so many millionaires in Congress? Well, because they do insider trading and they get rich off of being there. Who do you think is going to be better for their stock portfolio, Trump or Bernie? Trump. So a lot of them would rather have Trump. Because they also know that Trump is never going to get questioned by his own base, because his base are capitalists who also love bootlicking to the rich and love tax cuts for the rich. So they're not going to have any issues with that. Even when Trump does things that hurt his base will turn around and blame someone else. Like, they won't ever hold him accountable. They won't be like, wow, Trump, it's really fucked up that you did that. I don't like that. No, they'll just turn around and go, oh, it's communism. It's George Soros. No, but here's where you're wrong, Brian. They hate Trump personally. They don't hate his policies. They hate Trump personally, not his policies. They love his policies. Are you kidding me? They love his tax cuts for the rich. They love the deregulation. They all get wealthy off of it. They love his warmongering. He's up in that military industrial complex budget. They love that. No, they just don't like him personally. They think he's uncouth and rude. Bernie is a Zionist, but why do we always forget that Bernie did not vote out of 2 senators to send Israel money? Why would he do that? Because I think that Bernie because I think that sorry, somebody texted me Happy Resurrection Day. Because I think that Bernie understands that Netanyahu has a genocidal right-wing government, but he doesn't actually oppose the whole right-wing government. That's why he didn't want to vote to defund them completely. He wanted to stop what he called offensive weapons. Like Bernie, unfortunately, like a lot of so-called liberal Zionists, which I don't even really think is a fucking thing, are basically for a nicer occupation. They still want the Palestinians occupied. They still don't mind if, the Israeli regime goes in there and mows the grass and kills a bunch of them. But, full on genocide that's killing babies every day, well, that's a little bit of a bridge too far for them. Okay. They want that to stop. But it's not the Israeli regime's fault. It's also actually about Hamas. Like, Bernie does that. Like, to me, there's absolutely no excuse for the fact that he was still saying Israel has a right to defend itself at this late fucking date. Like, how are you still saying that in 2025? This is so demented. I can't stand the fake deranged Christianity that exists in the right wing in this country. It's so deranged. It literally doesn't have anything to do with Christ at all. These people are the least Christian people in the fucking world. But people eat it up. People eat it up. They love that fake Christian slop. Ah! I don't even know who this is, but I'm a principled, independent thinker, neither left nor right. I oppose all tribalism and nationalism, but I'm a staunch Zionist. Wait a second. Now that I'm reading this, I think he's joking. I don't know who this is, but I think he's joking. He must be joking. He has to, yeah. No, never mind. I thought this was for real. I thought this was a real person writing a real thing, but now that I'm reading it out loud, I think they're joking. Douglas Murray. Who made this? Oh, that's really funny. I don't know who made this, but that's really funny. Yeah, okay. No, it's clearly a joke because he's obviously making fun of the fact that this is what Zionists do. I'm a free speech absolutist, but I think tech platforms need to do something about the rise of anti-Semitism. I'm concerned about political correctness, locking people out of the conversation, but I'll never platform anyone to my right. I reject the left denying biology, but I support canceling anyone who talks about race. I want to preserve everything that made the West great, which obviously has nothing to do with the people that live here. Yeah, so I don't know who that is, but obviously I think he's joking.
We gotta be careful about that word.
It is a genocide.
Oh yeah, we're just talking about this, guys. This is another example of Bernie Sanders doing propaganda for the Israeli regime, correcting people when they called it a genocide. Like, what are you fucking doing? What are you fucking doing?
Get a little bit queasy, what genocide? We gotta be careful about that word.
It is a genocide.
What's your definition of genocide?
Bernie, you have funded Zionism yourself. You have funded the Israeli settler state. Here you are, pretending you aren't. It is disgusting. Liar, liar, genocide denier. Liar, liar, genocide denier. It's disgusting. It is reprehensible. You are a child killer. You are a genocide denier. The United States military-industrial complex are the largest murderers in the world. It does not matter if it is a Democrat or a Republican. You have murdered people around the world. The Native Americans are still being genocided. I have never heard you once speak about genocide.
True. Where did he lie? Where did he lie? I think honestly, I get that it's hard for some people because, again, like, first of all, no one is above being propagandized. Nobody is above creating parasocial relationships with people, getting suckered in by people and being inspired by them, and, you know, developing like a what do you call it? Like a admiration for them and being disappointed. Like, we make fun of Trump supporters a lot, and I always will, because Trump supporters are cultists. But like, every human on all sides of the aisle develops parasocial relationships with people that they look up to, whether it's like our celebrity culture, the way that people worship celebrities, or the way that people have parasocial relationships with politicians and look up to them. And so I get that it's hard, because if you're somebody that looked up to Bernie Sanders, yeah, we don't treat him like a cult figure the way that the right treats Trump. But a lot of people on the left really looked up to Bernie Sanders. And it's hard when you look up to someone to admit that they're huge disappointments and that they're not who you thought they were. It was hard for me. I looked up to Bernie Sanders, but he's not who I thought he was. And doing things like denying genocide and saying Israel has a right to defend themselves fucking in 2025. In 2025, he's still saying that. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. I know it's hard, but that's like, you know, if you don't confront the people that you looked up to, then you're no better than a Trump cult is, you know? Like, if we don't confront even the people that we looked up to and hold them accountable and confront the ways in which these people that we thought were better aren't, and confront their hypocrisy, then how are we any different than Trump cultists? Mm. I agree when it comes to domestic policy, he's better than most Democrats. But I think that when it comes to foreign policy, he has not, he's still a Zionist, still defends the Israeli regime. He plays this game where he puts it all on Netanyahu. Like, he plays this game where he's like, no, it's just Netanyahu's government. It's not just Netanyahu's government. And I really don't like that. And so I don't think that he is better when it comes to foreign policy. And like I said, in the end, he's always just sheep herding people back into the Democratic Party. You know, he's always just sheep herding people back into the party. And he defended Joe Biden all the way through. All the way through, he defended Joe Biden. This is amazing. She's such a clown. Laura Loomer is such a clown. Happy Easter. Stay safe today. There's something very alarming about the left sending rabid Islamists into American cities. This is so embarrassing. Rabid Islamists is not this is not a thing. This is not happening in America. This is projection because she's a rabid Zionist, and the Zionists are the ones that are fucking attacking people. It's the Zionists that are attacking protesters. It's the Zionists that are murdering Christians in Palestine. But it's projection, so she attacks them and says that it's Islamist. Like, that's a fucking thing here. It's like when they talk about how we need to worry about Sharia law. Oh my gosh, what a joke. This, like, actual joke. How are you not embarrassed? What a joke. Oh my gosh. Yeah, meanwhile, in real life, she is such a fucking clown. I know. It really is. It's every fucking time, bro. Oh yeah, and then AOC was interviewed, and Anderson Cooper was like, yeah, but you're not talking about socialism like Venezuela, are you? And she's like, no. Like, basically, like, not the brown countries, okay? I'm talking about, like, the UK. The UK isn't socialist. The UK, just like all the other Nordic countries, are basically capitalist countries with better social safety nets, which the right wing is trying to destroy. The capitalists are trying to destroy. I shouldn't even just call it the right wing, because it's capitalist liberals too, trying to destroy it. You see how they always are trying to destroy the NIH, or no, I'm sorry, not NIH, NHS, the healthcare system in the UK and in Canada. They're always trying to ruin it, because that's what fucking capitalists do, whether they are like liberals, neoliberals, or whether they're conservative right-wingers. They basically, what they do, and they've done it since the New Deal, is they attack the social safety net. They attack it, they chip away at it, they attack it, and then they turn around, and as they try to privatize it, they keep trying to push it into privatization while defunding the social programs, and then they turn around and they use the gutting they did of the social programs as evidence that they don't work. They're doing it right now with education in America. They gut education. They gut it. And then they go, look, guys, see how education is failing? This is why we need to privatize it. See, guys, see how it's failing? Privatize it more. They do it with literally everything. And they're trying to do it right now in the UK. They gut the NIA or NHS. And then they go, oh, see how it's not working? They got to privatize it. They do it. Oh, they do it with the VA. They underfund the VA. They don't take care of it. They don't give it the proper funding that they need. And then they go, look at how the VA is so inefficient. We need to privatize this shit. It's literally the same shit. Wrong. It's not that they're funding education in the areas where where you're not thinking about, Brian, is where the funding for education goes. You're talking about it like it's a blanket thing. No, where education is funded, because they do it based off property taxes, those people are doing well. They do have really good schools and really good test scores. What I'm talking about are the ones that are in poor areas that don't get a lot of funding because they're, again, funded by property taxes. And so they don't get that funding. So they've got really shit schools with overcrowded classrooms and bad test scores. They do it with everything. It's not just education. They do it with everything that they try to privatize. And the other reason why they privatize is because that is exactly what happens when you live in a capitalist system. Everything becomes about money. There's nothing that is for the public good. Everything is behind a paywall. Your whole life is behind a paywall. They want healthcare behind a paywall. They want the VA behind the payroll. They want education behind a paywall. They want everything to be behind a paywall so that you have nothing that is for the public good. They want everything to be for profit, and there are just some things that should not be for profit. But that's what we do here. Okay. All right. So who has some recommendations for some good, solid, I'm forgetting the name. Some good, solid syrups or powders for lattes. This is such a joke. Islam is taking over Britain. This is a joke. Hmm. Oh my gosh, he's such a hack. Get this CIA Mossad plan off my timeline. Jade, did you guys see that the Pope refused to meet with JD Vance? I thought that was really funny that they refused to meet with him, or that he refused to meet with them. Yeah, did you see too that they admitted to killing all those medics in Gaza? It's so creepy and evil how it's so creepy and evil how settlers in the West Bank will kill Palestinian families' livestock just to terrorize them. That's a good point from Jenk. It's been a year and a half since well over 15,000. Oh, it's way fucking more than that. They've been saying 15,000 for like 8 months. Has any pro-life group condemned it? No. Yeah, I haven't seen a single pro-life group condemn the genocide in Gaza. The only person I've actually seen is the Pope. The Pope has condemned it. That's basically it. Oh, this was funny. Them making fun of Douglas Murray.
You know, because
Well, that's
Hey.
one thing.
there's peace in the Middle East, hopefully. They keep talking about all this, these deals they're all making. Hopefully that the Hamas and the Israel, whatever it is, they get, because
Well, that's
Hey.
one thing that Trump said. If I get in there, 24 hours, the war's over.
that's a tough one. 24 is tough.
That's obviously.
But hopefully they figure it out because it is, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
The human toll is unreal.
Unreal.
And, it's crazy.
Some lady just died. She was the protagonist in some documentary, and she just got blown up.
There is an argument to be made that level of devastation and death is worse than you talking to someone on your podcast.
Allegedly.
There is an argument to be made. It's probably not a good one.
The amount
But
of
there
damage
is an
you can do with
argument.
just talking.
There is an argument to be made that, starvation and stuff like that, and people dying, is worse than a podcast.
But wait a minute.
I wouldn't
Wait a
make
minute
it.
before you say that. Have you been there?
When were you last there at all?
I've never been.
You've never been?
Well, am I not allowed to talk about it now?
Right, that's a good point.
You haven't been?
By the way, how is he in all these wars? Can I just go to wars? By the way, how are you allowed to just
Low key, that's a really good impersonation from Joe Rogan of him. You haven't even been. It's amazing.
just go to wars? Is
You
that the way
haven't-
to,
you should at least
Can you
have
just
the
go to war?
courtesy of going there.
Can I just go to wars, or do I have to come back and say what people want me to say about the wars? Can I go to the wars and have my own opinions, or do I have to have the opinions?
Not if you want to go back.
That's right. That's right. It's very interesting, this war tourism. How do I get on this war tourism?
Yeah.
I'd like to go to the Ukraine. I
You
want to
should
go.
go.
I want to go. I
You
want to go to all this war tourism.
Do you have any awards that they can melt down and make bullets out of?
Joe, think about this. Do I seem like a guy that has a lot of awards?
Didn't you get one of those YouTube plaques when you hit 100,000?
I don't even know where they send it. I don't know where. I don't know where they're sending those YouTube plaques.
We've got a few of those.
But I like this idea
We'll
of
give you
war
one of ours.
tourism. I like the idea of going to a war and then.
Which, by the way, sub if you haven't to all the channels, fam. Sub to Rumble, although I won't be on Rumble today because this is a shorter stream. But yeah, sub to Rumble, sub to Twitch, sub to YouTube. I want to get to 100,000. If you're a lawyer, contact me to help me sue YouTube. Yeah. Don't forget about that. Subbing is free. Sharing is caring.
and coming back having a very black and white view.
Yes, I've been there.
I get it, and I know, and interesting. Okay.
Also, let's not forget that when Douglas Murray went to Gaza, he went surrounded by the IOF doing a propaganda PR tour and a photo shoot. That's not going to a war zone. If you're going with the people doing the war, the genocide, and you're only seeing what they want you to see, that's propaganda. Like, to be like, I went. Yeah, you went with the IOF. Like, that's like saying that you went on a tour of Ukraine with Vladimir Putin. Obviously, you're not going to see both sides of it if you only go with the person doing it. Like, embarrassing. But no. He thinks because he did a photo shoot in Gaza surrounded by IOF terrorists that makes him an expert.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I love that.
You feel better than the other people.
Well, of course, there's a lot of people. It gets very murky. Most people I know that have been to war have a very murky, complex view of things. But it is good to go to a war and then come back and be as sure as you were before you came.
And you don't have to go for very long.
No, you go for an hour.
Couple hours.
It's a lunch.
Yeah.
It's lunch on
Put
the
on
front
a
line.
flak jacket that says press.
Tea on the front lines, and then you come back and you have all the target. Yeah.
And if you're on the right side, you probably don't get shot.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, there doesn't seem to be a ton of danger for a lot of these people going to these wars. They seem fine.
If you cross that line and you have a bucket of food with you, they might let you up.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go. I'll go to any war and anything you want. So if you want to pay for me to go to a war, I will come back and I go, I saw the Houthis, they're terrifying. They are terrifying. Anywhere you want. And by the way, any country, if China wants me to, I'm doing it. I'm doing
Moscow.
No, but true though, it's like, yeah, obviously, they always seem fine. Yeah, because they're going with the side that has the power that can protect them.
I would love to go to Moscow. And I said to my friend,
they absolutely deserve, like, I love that they're clowning on him. He absolutely deserves to be endlessly clowned on for this shit.
Anna Hotchkin from the Red Scare podcast, I said, should I go to Russia? She goes, you're spiritually Russian and the maybe you won't leave. She says, the oligarch lifestyle might be for you.
I can see you eating caviar with
the smoked fish. She goes, it might smoking a cigarette on a yacht. She goes, it might be for you. Listening to people's moral justifications for all kinds of things. Going, well,
I see. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What happened to all those yachts that got confiscated?
I don't know. It's a great question. I bet it's some high level version of like a police auto auction, right?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm thinking. Exactly. Like if
maybe those.
I don't know why it's doing that. Hold on. You said I have 2 accounts. I don't know why it's doing that. Happy Sunday. Yes, happy Easter. It's the one with 412. I don't know why there's 2. That's so weird. That's so weird. Yeah, it's the one with 412. I'm going to have to try to fix that. I don't know why it's doing that. That's so annoying. So annoying. Rumble is so clunky. I'll be live again on Rumble on Thursday. I'm not doing it today because today is a shorter stream. I'm only doing 2 hours today, but I usually do like the last hour on Rumble, but I'm not going to do that today because it's Easter, so it's shorter.
These are the ones you sail to the war. I don't know.
Which actually, this reminded me of how embarrassing it is that so-called free speech, absolutists, fucking Piers, but do you condemn Hamas Morgan interviewed this Dylan guy. And like, it's so crazy the way that he is doing propaganda for the IOF that this Dylan guy has to be like the voice of reason on to a guy that supposedly cares about free speech. Let me explain.
When the planes I'm in land, there's a lot more context.
Karma, if they just realized a lot of what he does and says is designed specifically to wind them up.
I think supporting people without any due
side on something, and now they're much more.
Okay, so this was the part that I was referring to, and it's so fucking crazy that this guy, what is his name? Tim Dillon. I was saying Seth Dillon. This guy, Tim Dillon, who's a comedian, I'm pretty sure. I'm not that familiar with him, but from what I understand, he's a comedian. He is having to be the voice of reason and the one who actually defends free speech to Piers Morgan, who claims to be a free speech absolutist and calls his show uncensored. The reason why it pisses me off so much and it's so fucking cringe is that Piers Morgan's whole rebrand was based on standing up against censorship. For anybody that doesn't know Piers Morgan's arc, he always was like an establishment guy. He used to be on CNN. He was on like Good Morning Britain. He got fired. He got canceled. And then he went on this like whole spiel, this whole like campaign to say like he was against cancel culture. He was against speech censorship. He was a free speech absolutist. Fuck, the censors. Fuck the speech police. And then he started his YouTube channel called Uncensored. Uncensored. So tell me why this guy who did his entire fucking rebrand and his entire fucking comeback arc on being anti-cancel culture and a free speech absolutist and uncensored is now defending Mahmoud Khalil getting kidnapped because he was allegedly handing out pro-Hamas literature, which, by the way, he wasn't. It was pro-Palestine literature. But even if he was, you should defend that if you really care about free speech. He wasn't, but even if he was, you should defend that on the grounds of free speech. Why aren't you defending Mahmoud Khalil on the grounds of free speech? Because you're full of shit. Because you're full of shit, Piers.
I've noticed on social media, to come out and criticize their own side. And I want to cheer that and say that's exactly how it should be. You should be able to look at a set of facts, and if they change, say, actually, you know what? My side's got that wrong. It is intellectually honest to do that.
I think if you care about free speech, you have to be concerned with deporting people that attended protests that were critical of Israel. It doesn't mean you agree with everything those.
If you don't care about free speech, when it's speech you hate, you don't care about free speech. It really is that simple. Like, it really is that simple. Yeah, I know. I'm not trying to be a hater to my like British friends, my British fam, but I feel like even people like Pierce, but do you condemn Hamas Morgan, who says that they're free speech absolutists or that they care about free speech? It only goes so far. Because like at the end of the day, I feel like British people, not all, okay, don't come for me, my lovely British friends. At the end of the day, they don't really care about free speech or really think that it should, like, they don't. They'll be like, I believe in free speech. I'm a free speech absolutist when it's them. But then they'll be like, actually, we should. But then again, to be fair to my British friends, there is an uncomfortable amount of Americans who do the same shit. An uncomfortable amount of Americans who claim to care about the First Amendment and then will be like, but actually, when it comes to speech I don't like, I'm fine with it being censored. But the reason why it's so cringe that Piers Morgan is doing it is because, as I already explained, he did his whole fucking rebrand based off of like being pro-free speech.
People said, or any of it. It means that if those people have not committed a crime and you cannot show that they are financially supporting Hamas or in any tactical way, and they're out there speaking freely at a protest, writing op-eds, deporting them because they've been critical of a foreign government, seems to feed the conspiracy theories that the United States is acting and doing things at the behest of Israel.
True.
What you want to do, if you're creating a political culture, you want to try to prevent people from drifting to the extremes. That should be the whole point of creating any type of political culture, is to say there are lines that people aren't going to cross. They're not going to get into Holocaust denialism, or they're not going to go, on the other side into this crazy, let's banish everyone who disagrees with us and let's try to get them to lose their job and destroy their reputation and really do a ton of damage to people's lives. These extremes you want to prevent. And to me, what I see, there's a lot of long-term damage, not only to the relationship we have with Israel, but to, people's faith in our government to make decisions. If we start deporting people without any due process, putting them in a jail in El Salvador, I think these are things that conservatives are saying, wait a minute, we've died on the hill of free speech. We can't support deporting people because they've been critical of our government or Israel. It's crazy. If they're legally here on a legal visa.
Right. What if they are, for argument's sake, openly supporting Hamas?
What an embarrassing response. What an embarrassing response. The free speech guy. Yeah, but what if they're supporting Hamas? Seriously? And yes, all those same people, and I'll never stop reminding everybody of this, that made so much money dying on the free speech hill. Barry Weiss, Laura Loomer, Rave Dubin, Megyn Kelly, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, who else? All of these clowns. Jordan Peterson, Brett and Eric Weinstein, all of them. Sam Harris, like all the intellectual dark web people, all of those people who made so much money dying on the hill of free speech all defend this. All defend the censorship regime that has been swept in by the Israeli lobby via the Trump administration. I love how Trump was like, I'm bringing back free speech. And by bringing back free speech, I mean, I'm going to do nonstop censorship, unprecedented censorship on behalf of Israel. That's what bringing back free speech means.
Which is a prescribed terror group in the United States. In that circumstance, because you've got this guy, Mahmoud Khalil, who was the head of the protest group in Colombia.
Also, this is so embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for Piers Morgan that a guy who is a comedian who wears those sunglasses has to explain to him this point. Because I saw this clip already. It's so embarrassing. So Piers, but do you condemn Hamas? Morgan, I want you guys to remember this and keep this in mind as he answers this. Is supposed to be the free speech absolutist, is supposed to be the uncensored person, is supposed to be the one that cares about the First Amendment, and is supposedly, allegedly a journalist. He has to be schooled by the guy in the party favor glasses, the party city glasses. He has to be schooled by him about free speech and what that actually means. But what if he supports Hamas? What if he supports a terror group?
Who was apparently distributing pro-Hamas literature and was there on a green card. Would that change your thinking about somebody like that?
Piers, I've openly supported Hamas. It depends who you're having lunch with. Don't you want to just get through a lunch, Piers? Do you want to fight everyone all the time? If I'm out to lunch with people from the Middle East, I'm not going to start a whole thing here. No, listen, the thing becomes what is Hamas literature? Is it like a brochure that says welcome to Hamas?
That part is the part that I love. I love that he calls out, which is amazing. Piers Morgan, who is supposedly supposed to be a journalist, is like, well, he was handing out pro-Hamas literature. And this guy, again, the one in the Party City glasses, has to be like, what does pro-Hamas literature even mean? Is this welcome to Hamas? I just want you guys to think about the insanity of that. And think about not just the insanity, but the unseriousness of Piers Morgan and his ilk. I want you guys to think about the unseriousness of Piers Morgan and his ilk and people like him who actually and seriously and unironically say things like, we believe in free speech and we're free speech absolutists, but also, wasn't he handing out pro-Hamas literature? And this guy has to be like, what does this even mean? What does this even mean? What is pro-Hamas literature? That's a question that a journalist should ask. You know what I mean? It's embarrassing that the comedian guy's having to ask it. That the comedian guy's having to be like, define pro-Hamas literature. That's what I'm saying is really like amazing about it and so embarrassing about it. Embarrassing for Piers Morgan that like he's supposed to be the free speech guy. He's supposed to be the journalist. And it's the comedian that is sitting there being like, are you just going to take their word for it? What is pro-Hamas literature? Like, explain that. Are you just going to take their word? Or are you going to question, what do you mean when you say pro-Hamas literature? Or do you mean pro-Palestine literature? So embarrassing.
Selling it to Hamas timeshare. What is he doing? He's walking around a quad at Columbia. I got to see this literature that's supposedly Hamas. I had no idea Hamas was doing pamphlets, brochures. I didn't know. Do you go through a Hamas presentation? Do you show up to the lobby of the Marriott and they just get up and tell you about the organization? I don't know. It seems flimsy. The language we're using to deport that guy seems flimsy to me unless you can make a real case that he was genuinely supporting Hamas.
I'm sorry. It's just so fucking embarrassing that this guy is having to explain this to somebody who was allegedly a journalist. How embarrassing. Skewered. How humiliating. It's humiliating. It really is humiliating.
In a tactical way.
And he's not meaning to. He's just answering the question and he is unintentionally humiliating Piers. But do you condemn Hamas, Morgan?
That endangers residents of the United States of America. If he beat up a Jewish student, if he committed a crime, if he, all of these things. But if he's just...
Which they continue to lie about. Like Boomer Mar is continuing to lie about it. And Douglas Murray continues to lie about it. And they go on TV and they say that Jewish students are getting beaten up. That's not happening. There was some clown yesterday that was like Jewish students are getting beaten up and harassed. That's not happening. They're making it up. The only violence that happened during the protests last year was violence against the protesters from the cops and from Zionists. Like, that's the only violence that happened was from Zionists and the cops. There was no violence against Jewish students. They're literally making that up. A reminder.
Just voicing a very anti-Israel point of view, I think deporting him is going to feed the flames of a lot of people that think that we're doing things at the behest of Israel and that we're compromising our values to do it.
What do you make of Tariff Gate? I mean, I think most people seem to agree with Trump's.
Notice how he just went right past that. You didn't have anything to say about that? You didn't have anything to say about that? Nothing? Nothing? Nothing. He just moves right on. How amazing is that? LOL. Oh, this is what I was telling you guys about. Hold on, let me grab my water. I gotta pee. Anyway. This video of the Pope refusing to meet with J.D. Vance, which is so amazing.
Molto gravi e dolorose. Civili inermi sono oggetto di bombardamenti e spari. E questo è avvenuto persino all'interno del complesso parrocchiale della Santa Famiglia, dove non ci sono terroristi, ma famiglie, bambini, persone malate con disabilità, suore. Una mamma e sua figlia, la signora Navda Khalil Anton e la figlia Samar Qamar Anton, sono state uccise e altre persone ferite dai tiratori scelti mentre andavano in bagno. È stata danneggiata la casa delle suore di Madre Teresa, colpito il loro generatore. Qualcuno dice è il terrorismo, è la guerra. Sì, è la guerra, è il terrorismo. Per questo la scrittura afferma che Dio fa cessare le guerre, rompe gli archi e spezza le lance. Preghiamo il Signore per la pace.
So apparently, MAGA is very upset that JD Vance was uninvited, which I don't know why you care, MAGA, because JD Vance is a hack and will do anything for power. Like, how do you guys not notice that he was literally created in a lab? Oh. Pope Francis did not attend the Vatican's official meeting with the U.S. Vice President on Saturday, instead having his number 2 deliver a lecture on compassion, according to a Vatican statement. Triggered deranged MAGA freaks appear to be lacking in reading comprehension. Oh, it's so funny.
President Biden's leadership.
President Biden's leadership, Lamau. Oh my gosh, what a hack. How old is this? I wonder how old this video is. An activist yelling at him. Confront Hakeem Jeffries at his imperialist policies in Gaza and Haiti. I wonder when this was.
President Biden's leadership. Democrats.
You're a war criminal! And you sleep at night! Down!
Hypocrisy, you use the guise of democracy and diplomacy to do the bidding of a racist, white supremacist.
Take it out!
It's amazing what sheep people are that, like, as these activists correctly call him out, and you see it every time. You see it at every event that every Democrat is at that they get booed at. There's always a bunch of lackeys in the audience that shout them down, that are like wanting to protect the politician. What do they need bodyguards for when they have all their constituents that are willing to just do propaganda for them and defend them no matter what?
$14 billion to kill people in Gaza. They murdered 14,000 children.
Also, not only good for, shout out to these activists, but also this should be every politician's appearance every time, going forward all the time. They should never have a moment of peace. Hey, Dawn. We're actually wrapping up here soon on our little Easter thing, but I'm glad to see you. I mean, I don't know where this was. The reason why I'm wondering how old this is because he's talking about, Jeffries is talking about Trump or Biden's leadership. So I'm like, was Biden still in office at this time? I don't know. Nonetheless, I think that it's great. I love when activists split up like this too. So like they keep disrupting it in different areas. So good for them. This is how it should be. This is how it should be. They should never, no politician should have a fucking moment of rest. They should be protested wherever the fuck they go. Wherever the fuck they go. And it is so embarrassing that there's always a bunch of bootlickers that are like willing to basically be the unpaid bodyguards on behalf of the politicians and shout them down. Like, how dare you shout them down? Like, these people are doing what these people are doing is the right thing to do. Like, how dare you shout them down?
People together, others are.
Here you go.
I wonder where that's from. Like what year it's from, or if it was from last year. Either way, good video. They should have dates on them. Thank you. I wish they would have the dates on them, you know? Like, I wish, like, the Instagram videos or whatever sometimes would have the dates on them so we could see. But that makes sense that it was 2024 because he said President Biden's leadership. So that makes sense. Nonetheless, though, good for them. Good for those activists. And that's how it should be. Every fucking politician, no matter where they go. That's the vibe.
On the list of our enumerated rights for a goddamn reason. It was they couldn't name a podcast. They couldn't have called out Joe Rogan, but they came as close as they could come to saying, sorry, there's no source. The mechanism by which we discovered it is well known. It is the exact thing that the founders of this great country put first on the list of our enumerated rights for a goddamn reason. It was they couldn't name a podcast. They couldn't have called out Joe Rogan, but they came as close as they could come to saying, sorry, there's no source of high quality information versus low quality information, malinformation, disinformation. You can't know ahead of time. The mechanism by which you come to understand what is true, Douglas, is discussion. It is discussion in which nobody gets to set the rules about what kinds of opinions can be investigated. And yes, that does cause some garbage stuff to be said, but what reveals that it's garbage stuff? Free and open inquiry that reveals that actually it doesn't stand up to scrutiny. That's how you do it, Konstantin Kisin. I don't know what's wrong with these people. It's really like somebody has figured out how to threaten them into saying things that they full well know aren't true.
They're becoming what they were fighting against.
They're becoming what they were fighting against. And I must say, in both of those cases, I feel like I don't think I was duped to begin with, that they actually held free speech as a high value. So the fact that they are backing away from it and calling for some kind of standard, self-imposed or otherwise, to prevent certain, the fact is heterodoxy is heterodoxy. And it often sounds crazy, and most of it is. But the good stuff is the stuff that sounds crazy that then does strangely stand up to scrutiny. That's how you figure out what's coming, is you look at the heterodox stuff and you figure out what has predictive power. And you can't get around that. And the people who tried failed.
What torchbearer? They're all frauds. This guy's like, it's clear to me that the real torchbearer is Brett Weinstein. They're all frauds. This is like the literal first time I've seen this guy say anything about speech. Anything. This is like, I haven't seen him say anything about the assaults on speech. This is the first time I've seen him say shit about the assaults on speech. Like, all of them are fucking frauds. All of them are frauds. None of them meant it.
Direction, and then there's an over.
Mahmoud Khalil is being held at a privatized federal prison just an hour from Oakdale, Louisiana, where the Reagan administration once established a concentration camp to quarantine Arab Americans in the event of war with certain Arab states. Wow, that's psychotic. Yeah, for real. Oh no. That's good. I'm just glad people are making fun of Douglas Murray. You know? Douglas Murray is a clown, and he deserves to be clowned on. And I'm just glad people are clowning on him, you know? All right, everybody. I think I'm going to wrap this up now. It's good. It's almost 2 hours, about 2 hours, but it is Easter, so it is shorter today. Thank you guys for joining me on this stream today. I hope that for those of you who celebrate Easter, have a good Easter. I hope that you guys can spend some time with your families, if that's, what you do on Easter, or if you have kids doing an Easter egg roll, whatever the case may be. I'm going to spend some time with my husband, make some dinner, and we might watch a movie. I don't know. I was thinking about maybe watching My Cousin Vinny. It's a good one. It's a good classic. But I don't know. We'll see what my husband says. Yeah. So anyway, I love you guys. Happy Easter to everybody. Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys on Thursday for the next live. Make sure to sub to all the things. And yeah, free Mahmoud Khalil, free Palestine. Bye, everyone.